Have you ever considered how the ego can use anxiety, fear, and worry to impede our spiritual journey? Indeed, the ego cunningly uses these interrelated emotions to ensure its own survival. It thrives on negative emotions, and it can even use them as a smokescreen to divert our focus from the spiritual path. By entangling us in worry, anxiety, and fear, the ego creates a formidable barrier of distractions and obstacles that hinder our spiritual progress. Recognizing this ploy is a crucial step on the spiritual journey, empowering us to navigate the tempest of negative thoughts and emotions and to continue our quest for personal growth and self-awareness. While they're distinct, anxiety, fear, and worry all share a common thread. They're emotional responses to perceived threats, whether those threats are real or imagined. These emotions often work together, overlapping and reinforcing one another. We can think of worry as a more general and persistent form of anxiety. It's a constant weight on our shoulders, often about things that's beyond our control, like events in the future. Just imagine how many times you worried needlessly about something that never came to pass. These emotions don't just exist in our minds, they manifest physically too. We've all experienced it: a racing heart, sweaty palms, shortness of breath, muscle tension. These are all telltale signs of anxiety, fear, and worry. They can also disrupt our sleep, sap our energy, and make it hard for us to concentrate. When we're caught in the grip of anxiety, fear, or worry, it's like we're stuck in a storm, unable to see the clear sky above. In the midst of such a storm, how can we hope to find our spiritual path? When anxiety, fear, and worry burden our lives, they become formidable obstacles, distracting us from our journey of spiritual growth. Instead of calmly abiding in the present moment or focusing on our spiritual journey or practices, our minds become entangled in a storm of thoughts about the past, the future, or potential mishaps or misgivings. Imagine trying to meditate while your mind races with what-ifs and uncertainties. It's a formidable challenge. Now let's delve a bit deeper. What's at the core of this storm? It's our ego. The ego clings, it resists, it fears. It's the root of all anxiety, fear, and worry. Ego identification immerses us in our thoughts, our feelings, and sensations. When the ego is dominant, we become entangled in its grasp. It can even deliberately feed our anxiety, fears, and worries so that genuine spiritual growth becomes almost impossible. It's like trying to soar with an anchor tied to your soul. We become unable to let go, to surrender, or to experience the expansiveness of our true spiritual nature. Spiritual growth requires ego transcendence. It requires us to step outside of our self-imposed limitations and fears, to see beyond the illusion of control, and to embrace the unknown with courage and trust. But the ego is a powerful force in our lives. Have you ever felt like your mind is caught in stormy seas, tossed and turned by the relentless waves of anxiety and worry? Ego identification is the tempest that intensifies these turbulent waters. If we identify strongly with our thoughts, it can become a relentless stream where we struggle against the current of constantly overthinking and ruminating on negative thoughts. It can open a floodgates to a ceaseless cycle of comparison and competition, setting off a chain reaction of anxiety and worry. Imagine the constant worry about others' opinions or the relentless pressure to meet impractical standards. Ego identification can foster a fear of failure and judgment in which we constantly replay past mistakes or worry about the future. But this can easily become a breeding ground for increased anxiety. So how do we navigate this storm and continue our spiritual journey? This is the question that leads us out of the storm of anxiety, fear, and worry, and back to spiritual growth. The really good news is that overcoming ego identification is possible. It's not easy, but it is possible. We can calm the storm within us. It just requires a shift in perspective and a willingness to confront our limiting beliefs and behaviors with acceptance, understanding, and wisdom. These are the powerful navigational aids we need to find the tranquil seas of self-acceptance and genuine growth. In the next videos in this series, we'll chart a course to overcome ego identification and the burdens of anxiety, fear, and worry. Join us as we navigate the sometimes stormy seas of the self, plotting a voyage toward heightened awareness, awakening, and inner peace. Stay tuned for more to come, but in the meantime, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to check us out on the web at josaonline.com. Well, we'll see you next time, right here on Journey of Self-Awareness.